So, good evening, guys. I'm sorry for the delay. I think it was, of course, partly due to the change of environment. But want to welcome you again. For those who have made it this far, congratulations. Keep coding. And we have in the previous tutorial we talked about strings. You know, we went into a deep dive of strings, and we looked at string concatenation. Okay. We talked a little bit about custom functions and inbuilt functions. And we said that inbuilt functions are those functions that come with Python, okay? Like the print function that we have been using to print to the screen. And we have custom functions that we shall write in the future tutorial, where we shall have, when we get to the part of what? Of Python, of functions. I'm trying to find a certain. Okay, I think it's this. With this. And we talked about string concatenation, and we said that string concatenation is basically joining two strings together, right? I think we all remember that. We talked about typecasting. When we talk about typecasting, that is where we were talking about changing from one data type to another, right? And we talked about escape characters. Escape characters, very important, especially if you are dealing with strings where you want to, and you have this issue where you're trying to put quotes within the string and it breaks. So how do you do it? We looked at escape characters, and then we looked at formatted strings, especially the F string. So the F string, and then we also talked about the dot format, using the dot format, kind of string formatting. And I shared a bit about, I shared some exercise. I don't know if you guys have tried it. Some of those exercises are really so very important, and especially in trying to build up your logic, you know, because when you're trying to program, you are, you know, I don't know why I'm seeing ticks all over my screen, or Daniel. I don't know, I'm seeing ticks plus his name. I don't know if he has hacked my PC or something, but Daniel, are you doing something?
Sorry, sir, I've removed it.
Oh, okay. Because I was looking at my screen having different ticks, and I don't know how to take them off. I still have them, so they are going to have they are going to be impacting the recording.
It's annotating by mistake. It needs to turn off its annotation.
I need to turn off annotations?
Tim, Odiek has to turn off his annotation.
Oh, yeah. Disable annotations for others. Done so, but disable your annotations too, so that these annotations can disappear. See, so many ticks. So now, what we are going to do today, we are going to cover string indexes. Okay, we're going to look at string indexes, and this will be the last part that we shall cover in the part of strings. So string indexes. So we are going to look at string indexes, and then a little bit more. And so with indexing in Python, as also with so many other programming languages, indexing refers to positions, okay? Refers to positions of characters in a string. And we do not only index strings, we can index other items, other data types, like, for example, lists. Indexes are very key. So we are trying, but indexes just basically mean it's a position, okay? So indexes refer to positions or characters in a string, okay? So that is what an index basically means, okay? So, and try to look for an index. Let's see what happens. So, for example, if I have a text, let me say, for example, I have a variable text and it has a log, okay? So when you're looking at indexes, indexing is basically like this. Let me say hello. Let me separate all these apart. And so the index basically starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So indexing starts from position 0. So in this string of ours, the position of H is 0. Okay. So let us try to see what is happening. Let me comment this out for reference and say, let me try to print. Okay. Print. Now, if I want to access an index, this is what happens. Okay. I hope I'm not too fast as yet. So when you have something like, we want to print out a character based on its index. So I'll say print, I'll get the variable, which is text, and then I'll use square brackets, okay? Those square brackets. Now, if I put in 0, you already know what is going to happen, okay? So if I say print text 0, and I get the index of 0 in this word, in this string text, we are going to get the H, right? Alternatively, if we say print text, and I maybe get the index of 3, okay? The index of 3, I have an L. So this gives us a very, very, very high advantage that we can actually try to access elements within a string based on the index, okay? Now, let us continue. Indexing can happen.
Josh,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I kind of lagged behind when I was trying to open Gloat, and I apologize, but I'm gonna ask that we just redo from 3 downwards. No, I'm so sorry.
So I said that string indexing is basically trying to look for positions of items. Oh, in this case, it is a string. We are looking for positions of characters in a string. Now, when looking for positions of characters in a string, we are going to use indexes, okay? And I say that indexes do not only work with strings, we shall see in more data types where indexes work, but I said that indexing starts from position 0, okay? Position 0. So position 0 is the number 1 in programming, okay? So I saw a meme sometime back that someone posted on Twitter that my girl was complaining that I have so many things in my business comes as number 1 in my life. And then I told her, yes, don't worry, you are actually the number 1. But it was a programmer job, right? So meaning that she was second, yeah, and that things in programming we count starting from 0, right? So when we say that print text, let me reprint this. So if I say print text, right, and I get these square brackets and I put in a 0, trying to mean that that's the position of 0, position 0, and I print it out, I'm going to get the first character in this string text. And if I say print text, right, and I get my square brackets to get an index like 3, and I run that cell, For those who are running Jupyter for the first time, run is up here. So, but I use a shortcut, Shift plus Enter, okay? That can help you to run it without having to click on the run button. So that gets you the position number 3, which is an L. So we look at it here. These annotations are still disturbing me, but I shall go nevertheless. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the H, E, L, L, O. So every position here is numbered, and the numbering starts from 0. This is very important. You'll be dealing with indexes until you quit programming. So you have to make sure that you understand the concept of indexing. But now in indexing, we do not only use positive numbers. We can actually also use negative numbers. Yes, hello.
So my thing is refusing to run. Am I supposed to type the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 as well?
No, do not get this. This is commented out. I put it there for reference. This is for reference. The code is actually here. You see that these are actually comments. I said comments are that piece of code that you want the compiler to ignore when running. So it is keeping this. I was just trying to show you that we start from the positions of, the numbering of each of these characters based on the index. So now, when I come to, I was saying that we can have negative indexing, okay? We can have negative indexing. Now, in negative indexing.
Just a quick one.
Yes.
When I tried to run as you run, I got an error.
Oh. You are getting an error where? Here?
Because I'm always like typing as you're typing, but now when I say print text, like I used 0, instead of bringing H, it wrote an error.
Which error are you seeing?
And it's saying name error, name text is not defined.
So you did define this text. I remember.
Yes.
Text,
okay, yes.
It's not defined. So errors always tell you where the problem is, okay? So now when we come to negative indexing, so when you use a negative, you're trying to count from the end.
Excuse me, Joshua.
Yes, sir.
I actually got the same error. Where did we?
You didn't
declare the text.
It is up here. If you're looking at my screen.
Yes. I typed the same.
Did you put text is equal to hello? That is the variable text. So if you are saying
I did.
It is telling you that you did not, that means you didn't run this cell. So if you don't run that cell, the thing is not going to store it. Okay. Jupyter is telling you that this variable is actually not stored. Yes, yet you declared it. So run that cell.
I think I tried to type it manually.
You typed it manually and didn't run. Okay. Yeah. So always run all those cells. Run your cells to get code running. So yes.
I was kind of lost. Starting to maybe summarizing the rest of the minutes so that I catch up.
Speakers. Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you say. Can you hear me?
Okay. He has disappeared. Am I really audible? I can't see.
Yeah, you're audible, Joshua. We can hear you.
Provia, am I audible?
Yes.
Oh,
can you hear
my speakers.
Can you hear me?
Joshua, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, even CJ, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying that.
Yes. But it seems Joshua is not hearing You.
I had removed headsets, but put them back. I'll put them back.
Yeah, I was saying I was a bit lost. Maybe just summarize for me in a minute string indexes so that I catch up where you are. Just
so now today I'm actually going to keep you guys here till 10 actually, because let me keep I said string indexes is just basically trying to look for positions in characters in a string. Basically, you're looking for a position of the item in the string. So for example, I redrew this hello here, and I said in this text here, hello, each character here has a position, and positioning starts from 0. Okay, counting starts from 0. So the H takes in a position 0, the E takes in position 1, L takes in position 2, L is 3, this L is 3, and then this O is 4. And I say that try to access those characters based on the indexes. Print, you use these square brackets. Okay, you use these square brackets. So for example, I said print text. This is the text that we declared up here. And then you use square brackets, and then you put in the index that you actually want. And when you run that, it will give you the H. As you see, that H is the first position. Therefore, that is 0. Second position is 1. So if I come and say print text, and I say 2, for example, I should be able to get an E. Okay? No, 0, 1, 2. So 2 is here. So if I print 1, I should be able to get an E. All right. And I said that we have negative indexing. That is if you want to access items from, from the back of the string, from the end of the string. So negative indexing works like this. So I can say print text. Okay. I put in my square brackets. If I say -1, all right, I should be able to get the O. Okay. So my notebook's getting long. Let me copy this in here since it is the same string. So if I say hello and I say text negative index -1, I should be able to get the last character. And if I say print text and I want -3, I should be able to get an L. Why? Because this is -1, -2, -3. So from the front, from the start, we start from 0. From the last, you start from negatives. Okay. So you can use negative indexing to access characters from the last, from the end of the string. And now I want to show you something which we call string splicing. String splicing is not very difficult. We can say, maybe, for example, let me get our text here. Let's just keep using text. And I say print text. I open my brackets. When I say 0, that. Okay. So when I'm trying to splice, see what has happened. So when I'm trying to splice, I have a start and I have a stop. Okay. So this is what splicing is. Splicing, you're cutting, you're cutting part of that string. You want it to access specific characters within the part that you have, the index that you want to start at, and the index that you want to stop at. So here, when I say 0 and I put that full colon and I say 0 to 2, okay, I want to print starting from 0 to 2, and that will give me 0, 1. The 2 is the stop, so it's not going to include the 2. I don't want you to get confused. Let us reprint
Josh,
this part here. Yes.
Josh,
Yes, help.
kindly go back to the part where you printed 0 to 1. It gave you H, right? Johnny gave you H.
No, it didn't give 0 to 1 should give you an edge because
Okay.
it will start.
Because
So I said that when we are trying to index, we're trying to splice, okay? Splicing will give you have to define the start position and the stop position, okay? This, you are telling it that I want you to cut from this position to this. But if I come and say that I want to print from the text, I want it to print from 0 to 2, 2 will not be included because 2 is the stop, okay? 2 will not be included, so we shall stop at position 1. So if I print this out, I will get HE. Look at this that I drew here. This is 0 and 1. So we are stopping at 2. So 2 is not what? Is not included. All right? Yes. So if I say print 0 to, let me say 4, you already know what is going to happen. Position 4 here is not going to be included. So let us, oh, sorry, I didn't select the, I didn't put the variable, sorry. So if I say that, we have the O, not what? Not included. But at the same time, I can say we should not always just start from 0. We can also start from the middle of the string. So if I say print text and I say I want to start from 2 to 4, right? I'm starting from position 2, which is the L, to 4, right? So, and then I have that. Are we confused? Or we can carry on?
Oh, we're good. What if you have the same starting point and the same stopping point? Say 2 to 2. Is that possible?
Pardon?
If you have the same starting point and the same stopping point, say
If I have
2 to 2, is that possible? Does that make sense?
Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. So you see what happens. Because you're defining the same start and stop method, you're telling it start here and stop here. So it's not going to print anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Means it has not moved at all.
Yeah, exactly. So I have, there's also another one. Let me get text 2, maybe. Let me get a longer string. This is hello. Let me put it within text 2. This is hello. So we have a splice where we can say start, stop, step over. Okay? Start, stop, step over. Now, for now, we had seen a start and a stop. Let's see what a step over means. We see that I can say print text 2. If I say 0 to 7, this is what we are being used to, isn't it? I get this is because we are saying this is a start. Now, I want you to note that even spaces are counted. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now, since the 7 is the stop is excluded, we get up to this is. All right. So if I say that I want to print from 0 to 7, 0 to 7, and I say 2, okay? I want you to see what happens. I mean, it gives me this. So this is what I'm doing. I'm saying 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but I want you to skip 2 positions, okay? So it's going to say 0, which is the T. It's going to skip to 1, okay? And then skip that, gives us the I. Then skips that, okay? And gives us the S. Now, that is what basically means there by step over, but for proper description, let me remove the spaces because the spaces are going to confuse you for now. Let me get this. So if I say 0 and the TIIH, this is the T, this is the I, this is the I, this is the H, you can see that clearly this thing is being skipped. Let me remove this and I show you how the computer is basically seeing our string. So let me space this. I say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it is going to start from 0. That's what we want, right? So it's going to print the 0 by default. But we want you to print from 0 to 7. This is position 7. This is the E. But I want you to step over 2 positions. Now, I want you to note that it's not going to come and say 1, 2, and then print the S. It's going to skip only 1 and count the next figure as the 2. I hope I'm not confusing you.
Repeat that, please.
So we see our string, this is hello. We are saying we want to print from maybe 0 to 8, okay? From 0 to 8, but I want to skip, let me skip 1 position and you see what happens. So if I skip 1 position, it is going to give me, what is it telling me? That invalid syntax. Oh, this is not commented. So if I do that, it is going to give me this is E. This is HE, okay? So it is going to basically say that we are starting from 0, we are stopping at index 8, okay? Stopping at index 8, but I want you to step over 1 position. So it is going to come and say 0, it steps over to the next position, 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 until it gets to 8. But we know that 8 being the last, it is not printed out. So it comes and prints out the E, and it comes out with this is HE. This, I don't know, this is he, this is he, so whatever that is. Now, I don't want you to get confused by the stepping over. If I say 2, it's going to basically step over 1 position. It's going to come and say from 0 to 8, but I'm stepping over. Here we are still saying 2, but in actual sense, it's going to step over 1. So it's going to come and say 0. It's going to print out the I. It comes, skips the 3, prints out the I. Comes, skips the 5, prints out the H. And that's how we end up having TIIH. Am I clear at that point?
No,
now,
I still can't get it.
So don't worry. It might not make sense in this for now, but it will. Okay.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
I'm failing to, like, my Jupyter is failing. It is giving me, it is saying fix code. I don't know what is happening.
Is it an error? What is it? The Jupyter that is failing to run?
Like here, like I've been running with it the same thing. It tells me here name error, name text2 is not defined. Then it count shows.
If you do not define this, it will show you that that's what name error means. It is not, you have not defined this variable, or you've put this variable but you didn't run that cell. You didn't run that cell. So make sure that when you put text2 as a new variable, you run that cell so that Jupyter saves it. And when you come to splice, the things will basically run. So
Joshua,
yes.
I have a question. Now, I wanted you to try, okay? Print text 2 from 0 to 8, step over 1. Let's see what will the result will give. Probably it will drive the other point you are emphasizing in.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I did. It was the first thing that I did. I stepped over 1 and we got everything. So if I say step over 1, it is not going, it's just going to say it's going to print everything until position 8. But when I say step over 2, it is going to skip 1 position. It's going to come and skip the H, come to the I. Skip the S, come to the I. Skip the S, come to the H. If I say 3, step over 3, it's going to come, print the T as the first character, which is the 0, and then it's going to come and skip 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, like that. So if I come and print this out, it's going to give me TSH. Why? Because I said print from 0 to 8, but step over 3 positions. So it's going to come and print the 0 and say 1, 2, and right to that point. And then say 1, 2, 3, that point. Now, 1, 2, we do not have enough space to run us to another 3. So it will automatically stop at the edge. I have a raised hand.
Hello, doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I have done exactly what you have done, but it's telling me syntax error, invalid syntax.
Maybe you copied all these. You might have printed these and you did
No,
not
I didn't.
out.
I didn't put print 1 and what. I just started with this is hello and then stop over and
So
let me can I send a screenshot to the group. Or...
Yes, put the screenshot in the group and I look at it. So now, okay. So I have another hand.
Yes, doctor, good evening.
Yes, good evening, how are you?
Okay, now my question is, with the step over bit, why is it that we are supposed to skip the second character? Like, is it by law that only this next character is the one that is skipped, not the first? Like, you say that it prints from 0, yeah, and then you skip 1, then print 2, skip 3, like that. But why isn't it supposed to be like skipping 0, then you print 1, like that?
So I think let me put this thing back here. You see our code in this string, this is hello. It has a start, it has a stop, and it has a step over, all right? So when I come and say that print text 2, but use splice from position 0 to 8, but step over 3, it means that we are going to come get the 0, okay, as the starting point, which is the T. I have you at that point. Now, when we come and say we are stepping over 3, it's going to count 1, 2, and it's going to land at 3. And it is going to print the S. It's going to again come and say 1, 2, and 3. And it's going to print the H. Now, position 8 is at this L. So we do not have enough positions to get us to another 3, like 1, 2, 3. It would be out of this range, okay? So we stop at the H because it was the last stepped over position. So stepping over 2, if I say step over 2, it is going to come and print 0 as the first step, okay? So we're going to have the T is going to come 1, 2, okay? It's going to print for us the I. 1, 2 is going to print for us another I, and say 1, 2 is going to print for us the H. Now, if you come to the H and say 1, 2, now this is supposed to be the end. And usually we say that our end is not what? Is not printed out. So do not be confused by these indexes. It's a very simple concept, actually. And I say simple not because I'm used to it, but it's actually simple when you go back and rewatch it. Maybe I did.
Josh, I have a question.
Yes, yes.
So if in my string I had spaces, like this space is space alone, would the spaces also be having corresponding numbers?
Yes, the spaces are also counted. The spaces are also counted. And after here, I'm going to, after you rewind, it's going to, trust me, it's going to make a little bit of more sense. And I also share some additional resources to help you understand more of the splicing. So okay, if we try to, I want to show you something.
Maybe Josh.
Yes.
I don't know if this would help, but for me, in the layman's understanding, I would understand is that like every second number, like when you have the start number, then you have every second number from the range of 0 to 8.
So you're saying what? That you're running what? Pardon? I didn't hear that.
In the layman's language, my understanding for the step over is that once you have the start number like 0, you pick every second number in the range of 0 to 8.
To 8, exactly. That is what it is. So,
okay, thank you.
Now, I want you to see what is going to happen if I tried to say that you print out text 2, but I want to print out an index that does not exist, like, for example, 30. So if I get this.
Josh.
Yes.
Just before you proceed, one thing you said that the last character within the range must also be included, right?
No, it's not printed. So, and we can see it here that if I say that print, for example, let me get rid of this. If I say print 0 to 3, okay, it's going to it's not going to print the S. So you see here,
makes
position
sense.
3.
I get it.
Okay. So I was trying to show you what happens if you try to print something that is out of range. So for example, index that, it will give you an index error and tell you that the string index is out of range. Okay. Now, strings by nature, I want you to understand that strings by nature are what we call immutable data types. Okay. So strings are immutable data types. So this is what I mean. Immutable means you cannot change them. Get it from the biological word mutate. Okay, that's how I love to remember it. Mutate, you can change, can mutate your genes, and instead of hands, you grow wings, But if we say that you are immutable, it's basically you cannot be mutated. So that is what strings are. Now, let me try to show you. For example, I say, let me bring back our text is equal to hello. It is shorter, so it is easy to work with. Let me say I want to change this E and make it an S, okay? I can say text and get an index because if we say E is at index what? Which index is E? Anyone?
1.
1. Okay. So if I say 1, I want to change it to, and say maybe I want to change it to a J. All right. Okay. Now, this is what is going to happen. It's going to tell you that a string object does not support item assignment. So if you store a string as hello, sorry, the text as hello, it is going to remain hello until Jesus comes. Unless you come, say maybe you reassign text and you change it to something like maybe Josh, okay? And now that's when you try to print out text, it's going to give you Josh. But make sure, understand that strings are not changeable. So they are immutable data types, and we shall hear this term more when we get to some other type of data types, okay? So I wanted to now, after getting to that point of telling you about immutable, how immutable strings are, I want to take you through operators. Operators. Now, what are operators? Okay, so operators are basically symbols. Symbols or words that perform operations. On variables and values, okay? And values. So operators, some operators are actually not new to us. We have been seeing some operators at play. So do not be worried that this is the new we have operators. I'm going to tell you what they are. We have types of operators. Like ran this cell instead of a markdown. So we have types of operators in Python, and I'm going to take you slow by slow because there are really, really many. We have arithmetic. Arithmetic means math, okay? Means math. We have assignment operators. Assignment operators. We have comparison operators. Comparison operators, and we also have logical operators, okay? For now, let me stop at that and show you what each of these are. So if we come to, let's start with arithmetic operators, okay? Arithmetic operators, we have been seeing some of them. For example, we looked at the plus sign. We are using it to join two strings, okay? We have seen what it does. So for example, this is the addition sign. It's the addition sign, addition operator. Let us see what it does. So if I say variable A is equal to 3, variable B is equal to 4, I can add A plus B, okay? Or I can wrap these within a print function, okay? And if I print that, I'm going to get the sum, which is 7. As simple as that, okay? We have subtraction operators. Sorry, we have subtraction. I'm going to comment that out. We have subtraction if we say, for example, I'm going to use the same thing here and say I want us to print B minus A. Okay. Yeah, we shall get the difference, which is 1. So we have the multiplication. We have the multiplication. Multiplication basically, of course, means multiplying. So I can say print A times B, okay? And I will have the multiplication. Now, we have the division, okay? This is basic math. We have the division. So division basically means that we want to divide. If I say print A over B, we use that slash, forward slash to divide. So B A over B. But if we print it out, you're going to see what happens. We get a 0.75. Let us try to make our numbers more, more divisible. Let's say, for example, A is 8 and this is maybe 2. You would expect a 4, isn't it? If we divided 8 over 2, okay? But we get a 4.0. Now, if you remember from our data types, we say that these are what we call floats, okay? So in Python, if I say, let me not confuse you, that in Python, these 4.0 and 4, these are actually two equal numbers in basic math, but they might mean something different in here. One is a float. So if we say that we want to print to get the exact number of 4, we shall come and say print A double forward slash, okay? So this single slash gives you a floating point result, okay? Floating point result. This gives you the integer, okay? This gives you the integer. I hope I'm not confusing anyone. So now let us look at some others. We have seen things like if you try to square a number, okay? Maybe like 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. So that basically is 2 times 2. So if I want to say 2 times 2, if I said print 2 times 2, it's going to give me, I talked about multiplication, yes? So 2 times 2 is going to basically give me a 4, okay? So this is exponential. So, but now, remember, I want, let's say, for example, I want to get, what are they called, squares? Yes, squares. So to get squares, you do not just multiply the number by itself. You get the number and then you put another star. So of course the result is going to be the same, okay? But if you have large numbers, if you have very, very large numbers, you are going to get some errors within your system. So make sure that if your purpose is to get an exponential of that number, you use double asterisks. This is called an asterisk, okay? This star here. And a 2 times 2 will simply multiply that number by itself. So for clear example, let me say I want, if I say 3 times 3, maybe 3 times 2, okay, is a 6. But if I said a 3 times 2, it is going to be a 9. So this is simply saying this is 3 squared, okay? I hope I'm not confusing anyone so far. So now, the division, we have talked about the division. Actually, this is called, where you want to get an integer, it's called float division, okay? Now, float division, and if you land on that term, don't get confused. This is float division, and this is just basically division, but remember that this will give you a floating point. The float division will give you an integer, okay? So those are called arithmetic operators. Now, I want to run through what they call comparison operators, okay? Comparison operators are trying to help you compare between two objects, okay? Comparison operators, okay? So these comparison operators are trying to, compare between two things. So we saw that if we want to check if a number is equal to another number, okay? So, sorry. So we have this. Let me say, for example, x is equal to 3, okay? We have all seen this operator. This is an assignment operator, actually. Don't worry, we are assigning x to 3. So if I say x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 4, okay? So let's try to see what happens if I say print x data double equal sign, okay? Y. What happens? It is telling me that it is false. We have seen false somewhere, and we say that false is actually a data type of, who remembers? Who remembers the true and false?
Yeah.
What data types are they?
Boolean.
Yeah,
Boolean.
These are booleans, okay? So true and false is a concept of booleans, okay? So it's basically ones and zeros, okay? The other sense. So now let's make y also 3 and see what happens. We're trying to see print x dash dash x equal to y. Now this now is telling me that it is true, which we are also seeing that it is true. This is an operator which is checking for quality. Okay? Equality. A single equal sign assigns a variable. It is assigning. It is an assignment operator. A double equal sign is checking for equality. Right? So let's continue. Let's get this and say x is equal to 3, y is equal to 3. Now, if I say print, I want to first show you the operator and tell you what it does, but after we have seen it in action. If I put an exclamation mark and I put an equal sign, okay? So let me say x and y. And I print, it is going to tell me false. But if I say for here, and I do that, it's going to tell me true. Why? Because this exclamation and an equal sign is basically saying not equal to.
Okay. Joshua, kindly just rewind a bit to the part where it gave us a false false answer.
So you see, we are saying that this operator, the exclamation and an equal sign, are saying not equal to. Okay. So we see here x is equal to 3, y is equal to 4. So I want to check, is x not equal to y? That is absolutely true because it is x is 3 and y is a 4. But if I make both of them this equal, like what x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 3, this statement becomes false because x is actually equal to y. And this says not equal to. So I'm saying print is x not equal to y, but it is true. X is equal to y. So if we say that, it's going to give me false. But if I make it bigger, if I make it this an 8 and do that, x is not equal to y, and therefore this statement evaluates to true. Okay, let us continue. We know these signs, the greater than sign. Okay, so greater than. So if I say print x greater than y, okay? Is x greater than y? No, it's not. So we should get a what? Are we getting a true or a false?
We are getting a false.
We are getting a false. That's right. That's right. Because x is not greater than y. But what if we said is y greater than x? We would get a true, because actually y is 8 and x is 3. I usually love this part of operators because they're usually lesser questions. And so let's continue to the less than. Okay, we all know this less than sign, less than operator. So let's say let's print out is x. Okay, is x less than y? This should be true because actually x is 3 and y is 8. So it should give us a true, right? But if we said is y greater than x, that should evaluate to false because y is actually not less than x, right? So it becomes false. So we all know this. It means greater than, or equal to, okay? That's what that sign means, that if we have let me get our variables here, our x and y, since we're using that example. And let's say that, let's print and check. Is x greater than or equal to y? Okay, if we run that, we see that is x greater than y? First of all, no. Is it equal to y? No. So is x greater or equal to y? You tell me it is a lie, it's false. But if we check and say, if we say is x, if x made x 8 and y is 8, this should be true a bit, isn't it? Because we have a greater, it's not greater, first of all, but it is equal to y. So we should get a true, less than or equal to. Okay, that's the next operator, less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. Now,
Just a moment.
Yes.
If for the operator of x greater or equal to y, assuming our x is greater but not equal to y.
Assuming
let's say our x is 9.
Our x is 9.
Okay. Yes.
So is,
but it's not
x is
greater or equal to y.
Oh, okay. So is x greater than y here?
Yes. True.
So one part of the condition,
true.
it is
one part is
going to become true because we are saying it is greater than or equal to. So x is greater than 9. Sorry, x is greater than 8, but it is of course not equal to 8. But since we are saying it is greater than or equal to, so one part holds the greater than part, and we have that. Okay. So if we again say print is x greater than or equal to y. Let me get this here and play with these variables. So is it less than y? First of all, no, because x is 9. So we are already seeing that it is false. But if we made y bigger, say call it 98, it becomes true because x is less than y first of all, but of course it's not equal to y because it is a 98. But if we say, if you make both of them 98, is it less than or equal to y? The equal part holds true. Okay, so we remain at true. So those are what they call comparison operators. We're trying to compare two items, two variables. Okay, so now, though we have looked at comparison, we have have looked at these ones, the arithmetic. Let me look at logical, okay? So logical operators are basically used to join two statements, okay? Oh God, I'm already feeling tired. So let us come to logical operators. So I say logical operator. So with logical operators, you're trying to check for logic, okay? So you're trying to check for logic, and we want to basically check, oh God, if two things are usually equal. I'm really sorry for yawning, but I'm really tired. So we have and, okay? We have or, and we have not. Those are our three logical operators, okay? So now, how do we use, now, you remember I mentioned the idea of keywords. So you cannot assign, you cannot create a variable, say, called and, okay? You cannot create because these are already reserved words. So, and I say that as we keep progressing in the course, we shall keep knowing what these keywords are. You might not be able to cram them all at once. So you just need to continue working with Python, continue speaking Python, and then you'll know which words are definitely keywords. So now let me try to show you what and means. So let me say x is equal to 5. Okay. And we use our word x is greater than 10. So we are trying to, this is and, like how it basically means in English, and this, okay? So let's see, x is greater than 5 and x is greater than 10. What do you think is going to come if I printed this out?
Joshua?
Yes.
Are you meaning greater or less?
Less than.
This is less than, less than 5 and x less than 10. So when we try to print out, you see that x is less than 5 and x is less than 10, both are true, because if we say that x is less than 5, yes, this condition x less than 10 still lies within the value of x, which is less than 5. So if we print it out, we should get, are we getting a false? Let me see. X less than 5 and x less than 10. Really? This is a true statement, you people. This is a true statement. Why is it bringing? Let me try to do this.
Josh, what is the reference?
Really? No, I've never seen, let me see. X, oh, sorry, it is calling these variables.
We didn't define a new x.
Oh yes, we didn't define a new x. You see, when you're getting tired, that's what happens. Say, for example, x less than, let's say it is equal to 4, okay, in this part. So x less than 5 and x less than 10, yes, it is supposed to be true because you have defined the variable x, right? So even if you don't put these, it will work. Even if you don't put these extra brackets, it will basically work. So the and is checking if both statements are true. So let's say that, let's copy this and come here and say maybe x is equal to 14. Okay. Is x less than 5? No, x is not less than 5. Is x less than 10? No, x is actually greater than 10. So if we print that out, it will become false because both statements are false. So for the AND keyword to give you true, it means both statements are true. And for the AND keyword to give you false, both statements must be false. But that differs from the OR keyword. Let us say OR. This OR operator. So if we say x is equal to 4, and we say, let's say x greater than 5. So first of all, we know the value of x is 4, and I think I'm tired of x. Let's use t here, so it stop confusing our notebook. So t is equal to 4. So if we say t is greater than 5 and t less than 10, we see that one part holds that.
Josh, isn't it
yes.
or?
Or, yes. I want to put or. Or. So if we say t less than 10, t greater than 5, we see that t is actually less than 10 because t is 4, right? So or works if only one of these conditions is true.
Hello, Josh.
Okay. Yes.
I don't know why I'm getting a syntax error. X is equal to 4. Print. I've shared the screenshot on WhatsApp.
Let me check and see what is happening. So X. Oh, you make sure you comment out these words. Comment them out.
Yeah, okay.
Put hashes or highlight them all at once and press a Ctrl plus a /. It will automatically highlight them.
Ctrl plus a what?
Ctrl plus a /.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
it has worked.
Okay. So now we have the or, we have the and, we have the not. Okay. So not is tricky. I'll show you how it works. So not, let's say, x is equal to maybe 5. Okay. Since we didn't want x, let's say use z. If I say print, but I want a not. Okay. I say not. Now not comes outside, not in between the two statements as we had seen. Okay. So not, we open and we say z less than 5. Oh, with my less than sign, less than 5. And okay, z less than maybe 10. That's my less than, why isn't it coming? So less than 10. We are seeing that z is actually 5. Okay, z is 5. So this part here is false. Don't lose me. This part here is false. But this part here is true because z is 5, so it's less than 10. This statement alone, if we printed it out, okay? If we printed this statement alone out, it should give us false because both statements are not true. But I want you to see what happens if I put a not. If I put a not, it will reverse that. So if, let me, to confuse you less, let's make sure that both statements are maybe true. Is z less than 15? Yes. And is z less than 10? That's true. But if we put a not, it is going to give us a what? It's going to give us a false. But if we remove a not, it's going to give us the original intended thing if we had not put the not. So the not negates whatever is happening. It reverses the result and returns false if the result is true, and vice versa. To return true if the result is false. Okay. So I think we shall see more operators the more we continue. I don't want to confuse you with more operators, but you can go on W3 Schools and try to look through those different operators. We have so many. We have membership operators, okay? We have bitwise operators. We have the and, we have the or, we have the, the not, we have the signed right, So I don't want to confuse you with those operators for today, because I really want you to, I want us to stay on course, okay? But we are going to see these operators in action, especially in the next, when you start conditionals. So I advise you to go to W3 Schools and get these operators. Was I hearing your question? Did I have a question? Okay, I don't think I have a question. I want to introduce a small topic. I know you're already tired, including me myself, but I wanted to introduce something that and another data type called lists. Now, let me introduce it in 5 minutes, okay? And then we shall expound on it in the next tutorial. But I wanted us to at least leave when we have talked about lists, because that was the purpose of this meeting. But we spent time on what? On splicing. So lists. What are lists? So lists, first of all, built-in data types. Built-in data types. Oh, this is supposed to be a markdown. Built-in data types, okay? And they store collections of data. Okay, they store collections of data. And usually the lists themselves, they are called ordered. They are ordered, okay? They are changeable, which basically means mutable, okay? You'll hear this word a lot. They are mutable, and they can also allow duplicate values. Okay? So lists, when we try to look at them, as we said, they store collections of data. They are ordered, they are changeable, and they allow duplicate values. Let's define a list of maybe books of maybe programming languages. So in different languages, you find these called arrays, hash maps, I think, but in other languages, but here we are calling them lists. So we can say, so a list, first of all, is declared using those square brackets, okay? And that is where we can store our different items. You see that I can put in different things, okay? Storing, and you have to separate each of these with a comma. Put Java, I can put there, which other programming language? I can say C, okay, I can say C++, okay. So these are called lists. And of course, if we print out programming languages, and we shall see that it gives us a list of our list that we had declared, all right? So these, we say they are ordered, okay? Because they have a specific order, okay? They have a specific order, and that order will not change, okay? That order will not change. Now, if you put any new item to this list, it will be added to the end. But we saw something about allowing duplicates. We see that it allows duplicate values, and shall see why this is important, that I can have another Python here, okay? Put the extra Python, okay? I can have duplicate values within within the list, and then print it out. We have it the way it is. Now, I want you to turn your eyes to this concept that we had talked about. We say 0. What do you think is going to happen if you were paying attention? What am I trying to do?
You're printing out Python as the first element. It is index 0 in the list.
Exactly. Okay, it will give me Python. So we can access all these items by using indexes. Now we have different ways of course. I said we can use. You can say, if I say programming print, for those who are in VS Code, if you just put it as programming languages, it will not work. But if you have, make sure you add a print statement, okay? Add a print statement. So programming languages 0, 0, 2, so means print everything after 0. It is going to give me my whole list. If I say, let me say I want to print 0 to 2, okay? You see that we cannot escape indexes. They keep coming back and back. And in data science, we shall see more of indexes, especially when you're trying to access columns of our data set. You're trying to, perform different operations in a certain column with another column. You access it using this indexing thing. So make sure that you understand the concept of indexes. So to access items of a list, that's how you do it. You basically use what we call indexes, okay? So if I say that I want to print maybe -1, I'm going to access the last item, which is Python here, okay? Which is Python. So we can actually try to access these things using methods, okay? So I want to first show you what a method is, okay? What a method is, and then I'll show you what basically I mean when I say that a method. So if I say, for example, programming languages, and I say dot remove, okay? And I say dot remove, and I say Python. And if I print out, let me just copy that, programming languages, I'm going to have this first item removed. Now, I want you to note that the second item did not go, okay? So initially, let me actually remove it so that we do not get that confusion. But if you have double items, just know that the second one is not going to go unless you also remove it again. So if I do that, I say remove Python, I get now my list without Python. What is this dot remove? Now, when we are introducing this session, we in I think the first session, we said we have what we call functions, and we have now functions. We said we use this parentheses, right? Didn't we do that? And we see that we also have remove having this parentheses, just like how you see the print having these, should I call them parentheses or circular brackets? These curved brackets. But we also see remove having these curved brackets. This in itself is not a function. This is what they call a method. Now, a method is always attached to an object. You have had enough new terms for today. Let's close up the session and let's meet in the next tutorial, and we shall continue with lists. What I want you to know, if you have not taken anything from this lecture, take indexes. Know that every item in programming, object-oriented programming, is an object. A method is associated with an object. A function works alone, like how you see this print. I cannot say something, you'll never see someone say maybe dot print, okay? No, that will never work because print is a function and it will work alone. But when you look at this remove, it has a dot here. So to access it, you have to, it is basically a method, you have to attach it to an object, which is a list. How many are confused? Yeah, so remove X where by. Have I confused people? Or have we understood?
I'm good, I understand here. Thank you.
Okay. So I want to encourage you, continue coding. We shall meet again on Friday. We shall look more at lists. We shall now look at lists, tuples, sets, and tuples, lists, sets, and dictionaries. And then on Monday, and then that will close the first half of Python basics. And then we shall go to Python basics 2. Okay. I just love grouping them that way, that when we're done with lists, when we're done with dictionaries, that's Python basics 1. And then we shall do Python basics 2, starting on Monday, where we shall deal with conditionals. For most of you who are coming from other programming languages or have coded before, you understand when you say conditionals and loops. And then we shall introduce other advanced topics like functions, lambdas, arrays, classes and objects, inheritance, and all that. So I just want us to continue coding. Now, today I reached out to a few of you. I sampled a few of you, and then I just got to understand that most of us actually understanding what we are talking about, they're understanding the concepts. Others are basically not understanding the concepts. And that's why I say, please use your groups